I generally just thought it was just a little bit of a knock. So I stood up, and that's when my little knee just buckled. So I think that's when it sort of dawned on me that this could be pretty serious. And then it was just about long road to recovery, basically. My first season at Arsenal was just an amazing experience. Got in the team and played a few games. Eventually going on to win the FA Cup, which was just a crazy thing to think that I'd do that on my first season.
That's what we wanted. It's not his first one, he's on free. We've got some catching up to do. FA Cup!
Yeah, at the end of that season, I've overachieved what I expected, and I was just ready for the new season and just wanted it to sort of come faster and hit the ground running. My second season at Arsenal didn't go as planned, maybe because of the overachieving in the season before. It was a little bit sort of expecting that, whereas I was a bit sort of brought back down to earth and needed to put the work in to earn the right to play rather than just be put in there. When the manager announced it, it was a bit weird for me because he was the manager that brought me in, and I sort of thought, oh, I've been here for 2 years now, where does that leave me? Where do I stand in the regime of the new manager that might come in? And I think it was just a bit of uncertainty for me on where I'm going to go from here.
First day back.
First day back.
I presume, I can't speak for everyone else, but I think it's a common feeling that when managers change and you've had players that were brought in by certain managers as part of their system and then a new manager comes in and they might not fit into that system, it's a bit of time for the player to adapt to the new system. Yeah, they don't know if a manager's going to come in and be like, right, well, I don't want you here, so you're out the door. If you're playing well, he'll keep you in the team. I think it was when I sort of broke into the team, I came in, did a job, did it well, and then the next game got trusted to do it again, and then you build up that consistency and they build up the confidence in you to be like, yeah, we can play Rob, he's not going to make a mistake, he's not going to do something wrong, we can trust him to play. Yeah, the night of the injury, it was obviously Man United away, which was massive for me personally, as United was the team I grew up with. And playing at Old Trafford, I'd only been there as a supporter, never been anywhere near the pitch. So to be walking on the pitch ready to play, that was a crazy feeling. I remember walking out the tunnel and they have stone roses on, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is amazing to be playing here. So that was a good feeling. And obviously then we got into the game. I generally just thought it was just a little bit of a knock, and I'll just wait for the pain to go and then I'll be fine and get back on. And I remember the manager came over and speaking to me saying, how are you? You okay? Can you go back on? And I was like, just give me a minute, because the pain was starting to go. It was the physio said, the only way we can really test it is if you try and put weight on it. So I stood up and put a little bit of weight on, it was all right. I thought, all right, okay, it's going well. Put a little bit more on, and that's when my little knee just buckled. And I remember it feeling like, it felt like there was a little sort of air capsule in the middle, like a ball, and both my bones coming to my knee, just sort of one slip that way and one slip that way, and it just sort of give way inside, and I was like, oh no. And then the physio just sat me down and just said, no, you're not going back on. So I think that's when it sort of dawned on me that this could be pretty serious. I think there's a photo of it where I'm just sat down, just looking at the floor, and I'm just thinking, that's obviously not going to play the rest of this game. I don't know how bad it is yet. I don't know how long it could maybe sideline me for. I was on the stretcher, walking down the sideline, and some of the United fans were all clapping and stuff, which was nice of them. Into the tunnel, into the change rooms, and was sat on the bed in the changing rooms. A few of the lads sort of walked in and pat me on the back and just checked if I was okay, because my knee was starting to swell up and get fat. And the doc obviously was checking it, and he checked the ACL, and obviously there was nothing blocking it. It just sort of kept moving. So that's when I knew it was. He didn't tell me straight away because I think he was sort of thinking of my best interest. But I sort of knew. I was like, that's not great. My dad, my granddad, my uncle, and my cousin we're all at the games. I think my dad didn't help my mum. He texted my mum saying, "Oh, Rob's gone off injured," and then my mum goes into instant panic mode and was like, "What's going on? What's happening?" And then my dad, obviously the signal's bad. He can't get in touch with my dad, so then she's just losing it. Don't know what's going on. It wasn't until I got out of the stadium and I was on my phone and I had loads of missed calls and texts from my mum. So I just rang her and just put her at ease, settled her down a bit, and she had a go at my dad, which is just sort of typical of them two, to be fair. I had the doc staying at the house with me, and he was sort of just there, so in the morning we could wake up and go straight to the hospital and get it scanned. So normally they're like 30, 40 minutes, and I was in there for 10 minutes and then got out, and I knew like, oh, there must be something obviously up for it to be that fast. That's what was going through my head. Showed me the scan and just said, this here is your ACL, and that's fully ruptured, and there's a bit of a meniscus tear as well. So I was like, all right, so it's what I thought it was. It's what I had in my head. So I got ready for that. And I knew it was going to be a long road, long sort of 6 to 9 months. Marcus, he texted me when the injury came out of what I'd done. He just dropped me a text and just said, "Hi mate, say sorry to hear about the injury. Didn't mean it in any malicious way." I didn't take it in a personal like attack on me. Obviously, I'm not. It's just football. So I just replied to him like, "Yeah mate, don't worry about it. It's football. Like you didn't even make a tackle. You just sort of ran into me. There's nothing to it. I'm not going to be judging you off that." And yeah, I've got nothing but respect for him and wished him the best for the season, as long as they don't finish above Arsenal. It wasn't until a few nights that I was sort of in bed and I was on FaceTime to my girlfriend, and like I was just like talking and then thinking about it more, and then you sort of realise that how long it's going to be, and you're not going to play football, not going to kick a ball for 3 or 4 months. But yeah, that's what it was, and then it was just about long road to recovery, basically.
I ain't even caught breath. And,
it's my knee diary.
Is it really?
My diary, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is lovely.
Camera crew are involved today. Taking over the physio room, here we go.
You again. We just got camera crew following you around everywhere.
Honestly, it's like a reality TV show. Keeping up with the Holdings. First call of the day. Measure the swelling and see how we're looking. Just 38.1. So this was like when I first started coming in, I was 40. Nearly 10 days later, lost a centimetre.
How much time are you guys spending together during a week?
About 4 hours a day, innit?
4 hours a day.
4 hours a day, constant. My Portuguese is unbelievable now.
You know, right?
And his Mank's very good. It's a very different environment, and it's a very new environment to me. Like before this injury, I'd not had a long-term injury. I had a few niggles that I'd missed like a couple of days here and there, but nothing really long-term. That was a new experience. A couple of times you just sat alone in the physio room, just on the ice machine. Just sort of sat there, everyone's out training or they've gone in and they've gone. And I'm just like one of the last ones to leave because I'm doing all my stuff. Scars. Healing really nicely. That one's lovely. That'll go like a whitey colour. And this was the ITB band stability, where they wrap it over for extra stability. Took the patella, a bit from the patella to butt inside, and then that was to stitch the meniscus up. So this is electrostimulus. It's just to get like the muscles pumping, and it's sort of this was the first thing I was doing post surgery, and it's just like 20 minutes, but I was doing it like 3-4 times a day because it was all I could do. So I just lay there. I was lay there on my sofa, have this on, and then when it tenses up, I had to like flatten it and extend my knee to try and get the extension. Whereas now I've got range, I can have it like this, and when it's relaxed, tuck it under, and then as soon as it tightens up, I extend it. But it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's a necessary one. Just basically working the muscles without me pushing any weight or using any resistance. Sort of the first thing I could do post surgery, and try and get this quad moving and not losing as much. because I lost like 2 kilo on my quad, I think, in the whole time. I lost 6 kilo in weight. Comes down here, and it inflates this, and you can increase the pressure of this a bit tighter. I have it on medium, so it's not too bad. And then yeah, it just gets really cold. The water goes up and you have like little sort of lines, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they fill these little sort of wires. Take any swelling down from the knee. And I'll do this again later on this afternoon at home, and then tonight before I go to bed I'll do it. And that's normally the routine. I'm gonna go Stone Roses, I think, just for a little quiet one, not too loud. I've had my sort of dance music for the CV work. I just put this legendary album on shuffle. Can't go wrong with this. My music choices in rehab, it can be anything from day to day. It literally will change day to day. I think one that's not enjoyed the most is the country music when I brought that on, but that's been brought into my life from my missus and her family. Hot country tracks of 2018.
Thoughts behind the music choice?
Easy to listen to. Nothing offensive. No swearing. Keeps it clean for the kids and the girls.
Some of the lads hate it, some lads don't mind it. But if I just get in there early doors and sort of get myself on the music, then it's hard to knock me off. Since the country's come into my life, the country music, there have been a lot of songs that you can learn on acoustic guitar quite easily. There's only like 3 chords just repeated over and over again, so you pick up a guitar and start playing country songs, you feel like a pro.
ACL Crew, getting through it.
Me and Jordan met each other doing some coaching at the academy at Hale End, and then she got injured and we were at coaching the next week and she couldn't really move. She was sort of had to sit there and watch. And then a week later I got the exact same injury. So we laughed about it eventually. At first I was both this has just hit us both at the same time.
Straight into that.
I didn't know if it was you or Welbeck shouting at that one last time.
But then yeah, every day I'd be in the gym and I'd go to the academy gym where she was at and we'd sit and talk for 10-15 minutes just about how it's feeling, how the knee's swelling, what's the next exercises you're doing, what's the plan, when's your next holiday. Like literally just got to know her as a person. I think we've really helped each other along this journey.
Holiday club. If this is a holiday, I want a refund. I had that and a band around my leg, and I had to hold it out and then single leg squat. And like when I'm pulling back up, I'm like, my leg's shaking like that, going up. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And I was like that, I was looking at the treadmill then and I was like, I'm gonna faint.
Yeah.
Robin.
Oh, it's a foul. It's a foul, getting carded.
When Hector got injured, I was at the game, I was in the box. I just remember him going down off the ball and then thinking, that's not good. All my mates were texting the group chat, Hector's gone down. They were watching it at home, so they saw the videos and the replays. And I just remember watching it and then just thinking, oh no. And then like literally it just hit me and I just like started crying. I had no idea why, like obviously love Hector to pieces and stuff, but I didn't think I'd cry about another guy's injury. But I think it was because it was so recent to my surgery. It was literally 4 weeks after. I knew everything he was about to go through. I just got overcome with emotion a bit. Yeah, it was something that I told Hector a couple of days later. But I told the doc, I said, Doc, it just hit me, and I was just like sat up there, like tears coming down my face, like out of my eyes, like didn't know what was going on. And he went, it'll just be so new to you, and so like the emotional stuff will still be there. So yeah, that was that one. He had all his sort of rehab out in Spain for the first couple of weeks, and he was close to his family, which is important, and that's why he chose to do it there. And he come back with a smile on his face, walked in like nothing had happened, so it was good to see. And him and me were in today, just grafting away.
His hand was like proper like, what happened, mate?
My was good, I think.
Look at how straight. With the ruler.
With the ruler.
Easy.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Oh, you stink, man. You stinks.
Called what bite?
Cannot leave Welbs out. He's a massive part of the group. He's just someone that lifts everyone around him and walks in and brightens the room up straight away. And even though it is an ankle, he's like an honorary guest to the ACL Rehab Crew. We couldn't do this without Danny, what he's going through with his ankle and how stiff it is some days. And some days I've seen him coming off the grass and he's just been like looking at his ankle thinking, that's sore and it's getting hard. But then there's two other people around him to lift him, because that's what he'd do to us. So much respect goes out to Danny.
Your ankle looks great.
Ankle looks fat. Just put it up there.
I think a big motivator for me was my mates back home. They're grafting from like 8 in the morning to 4 or 5 at night, and then going to the gym and doing their gym sessions. And I'm like, well, my job is to go in the gym. It's bad for me to give an excuse saying, oh, I can't be bothered doing it today, when them lads are doing the full day's work and then going to the gym. So I think it's only fair if I'm putting in the effort on my side for my job, which is at the moment is just being in the gym. Yeah, my interests away from football, I think, have been important, because if I came home and was just 24/7 football, I'd not lose interest, because it is football, it's what you loved as a kid. But you do need that mental break of just switching it off from something and focusing on something else for a couple of hours. Obviously my girlfriend, she lives in America, so it's hard to, obviously don't get that support of her being there 24/7, but we're always on the phone, always FaceTiming. And through January, we had a couple of days off, went to Paris, went to the NBA at London, and just did loads of different things and got out of the house rather than being sat in feeling sorry for myself. So I get home and she'd be like, right, where are we going, what are we doing? And I think that's important to just sort of get me motivated to go out and do stuff. And before you know it, it had been 3 weeks and I was off crutches, I was walking about fine, and that made it a lot easier.
I'm a little bit steady, but still a little bit rolling stone. I'm a little bit heaven, but still a little bit flesh and bone. Little foul, and I don't know where I'm going.
It's not the end of the world, you know, injuries are going to happen. It's professional sports. You see in all different kinds of sports, people get injuries, and if everyone just give up after they got one injury, then some of the players, I mean, you saw Tiger Woods in the Masters, you saw how many injuries he's gone through, and then to come back and win the Masters. So there is something deep down in professional athletes that they have these setbacks, but they're always waiting for the next comeback.
Back to the pitch.
Yeah, me personally right now, I'm good. I'm out running, which feels nice again, having to kick about with the ball a few times, trying to get my touch back. People will probably say I'd never had one, but trying to get that started. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a good summer of just putting work in and being ready to hit the ground running when pre-season comes and hopefully be there or thereabouts. Peace out.
Come on guys, subscribe.